Unity. Unity is when the parts of a painting, drawing, sculpture, or whatever artwork seem to work together, all right? So that it's not confusing. It really functions as a piece. Take a look at this painting by Bridget Riley, and you can see that there really is great unity. The whole thing holds together. But it isn't the most exciting thing that you've ever seen. Just remember what I've just said. Now, harmony is also something that you should know, but it's not exactly the same as unity. But it's so close that I'm not going to split hairs, and we're just going to consider unity, harmony, and harmony, unity for right now. Okay? It's not exactly the same. I want you to know that it's not exactly the same, but it's so close that we're just going to consider it to be the same thing. All right? So here's a piece that has both unity and harmony. So you can see that it works together as a whole. Now there's variety. Now variety is where we see different things that make it, the piece of work, interesting. All right. So if you have something that has great variety but no unity, then it's just chaos. All right. Think about if you had a pile of words. All right. The words wouldn't make any sense. You'd have great variety of words, but it wouldn't have any structure. All right. So variety is important because it mixes things up and keeps them interesting, whereas unity keeps them organized and together. So the painting that we looked at just a moment ago has great unity, but the only variety was in a little bit of a change of color, red and greens, but really not so big on the variety. All right. Unity, definitely a lot of unity. This piece, however, has unity and variety. Can you see the areas that serve to unify this piece? Look at the colors. Notice how the colors in the background, in the blankets around the man and woman, even the gold that's seen through the flowers at the bottom, all tend to unify the piece. Is there variety? Heck yeah. You see the angular rectangles in the man's quilt, the circles in the woman's quilt, the colors in the flowers, the colors in the woman's area so that you can actually see her contours. So this is a piece by Gustav Klimt called The Kiss, and it has both unity and variety. And then we have rhythm. Rhythm is not very difficult to understand if you understand that rhythm creates eye movement. Rhythm creates eye movement. So rhythm actually creates one of the other, can create one of the other principles of design. If you see an object repeating over and over and over again, and it takes your eyes through the piece of art, that is rhythm. So when I showed you the picket fence back when we were talking about movement, that was an example of rhythm as well, because it was something that repeated and caused our eyes to move. That's not the only thing that causes our eyes to move in a composition, but if you want your eyes to move, rhythm is a good way to do it. And finally, proportion. Proportion is also known as scale. Any of you who've ever put together a scale model understand proportion. If you take a look at the human body, if drawn in proportion, will look correct. If it's out of proportion, you might wind up with a head that's too big, shoulders that are too small, legs that are too long. Proportion deals with size comparisons. So when you are looking at an artwork, you want to make sure that whatever you put into the artwork is proportional. That's really important. All right. So those are the principles of design, those things that are the rules that guide where the elements go.